Good morning, Anambra. Well, we are beginning the discussion segment with one of the topics that we picked from the newspaper review, something that is really topical, and the House of Reps are actually debating it. But then it's left for us to know if that's actually what we need in Nigeria and then the criteria to meet in order for the establishment of that. My name is still Ajuluchuko Okabwe, if you're just joining us. And next,
And they begin to wonder, before now it's been to add 5 states or 6 states to the already existing ones.
Yeah.
And today we are seeing 31 states. Isn't that huge?
Very, very huge. And when you consider that the 36 existing states are owing, you understand, 11.4 trillion, and you begin to wonder, with existing 36 states and you now bring in another 31 states, can we actually, manage that kind of huge debt?
All right. All this and more you're going to watch on the program, Good Morning Anambra, today. And we've been joined by a guest. He's online from Ajale this morning. And is Barrister Chris Arukwe, a public affairs analyst. Barrister?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. It's good to have you.
Thank you very much. I'm honored.
All right. Thank you so much for finding out time to join us on the program. I know you've seen the news or you've watched the news this morning to see the trending story of additional 31 states to be added to the already existing states. What's your reaction when you heard the news got to you?
Well, my view of the general thing is, when I be unfair to myself, I would say it's distractionary, because this is a country that can not manage the 36-state structure, and we are talking about an additional 31-state structure. I think they are trying to just imitate America in strength and all that. Well, the first problem we have is to make sure we have a functional nation, a nation that is working in all labyrinths, working in all dimensions of the statehood. But we don't have it yet. And we're talking about creation of additional bureaucracy that will take more money, take more personnel, take all sorts of things to manage. So it's not the right step in the right direction for now. What we need for now is an absolute regionalism, where we have regions that can function, create their own state, create their own Supreme Court systems, and create their own electoral system, and have them working. These are my initial views on the problem. As far as I'm concerned, additional state creation is a misnomer. It's coming late in the day and coming at the wrong time. And if you know the emergence of state creation in Nigeria, it was as a result of the war strategy to dismantle the resolve of the Biafra against the Nigerian state then. And ever then, states have been created not out of necessity, but out of other priorities, emergent ethnic loyalties and all the rest of it. Half of the states are not functioning. Half of the states cannot pay pension. Half of the states cannot pay adequate salaries. So what are you creating the states for? Additional bureaucracy and loyalties and all that.
What of, Barrister, what of if creation of more states will bring development rapidly to the grassroots, to the interland, where we have shortage of such development?
That's what is usually touted, that state creation will drive development to the hinterland. But I live in Ajale virtually now. We have a local government that is not working. There's no development from my local government. So what are you saying? All the local governments are moribund. Nothing is working. So additional state structure will not bring any additional development immediately. And it's not part of our problem now. Our problem is to get out of the economic morass we have found ourselves and find a way of developing this country into a 20th
right, Barrister. Now, in the course of our press review, we had a guest that was saying there's something significant that he said that all these lawmakers, most times they don't even go back to their constituents, to have a town hall meeting with their constituents and find out whether they actually, creation of additional states is actually what they needed at this point in time or not. What do you think about the whole situation that they'll just wake up because they are in positions of authority, they think this is what they want to do, and for their own selfish gains, they go ahead to propose what they want? What's your take on that?
Yes, actually, if you see the people who are nudging the idea for state creation, you cannot see that it's coming from the people who are actually interested in creating additional officialdom. People who would plant in their own executive governors, people who would put in their own legislators, people who would put in their own speakers. These are the members of the House of Representatives. These are members of the Senate. These are members of other sections of the bureaucracy. It is not something that the people deserve or desire momentarily. People are talking of bags of rice, school fees to pay, and the rest of it. And you're talking about creating state for them. They don't even know the meaning. It's absurd. It's absurd that we wake up and we believe that state creation will solve all our problems. While we have not had attitudinal change, we don't have change in how.
Hello, are you there? Hello, are you there, Rukwe?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay.
State creation is coming at a time where I believe it is diversionary. Absolutely very diversionary. Because it's not what we want now. What we want is to get out of the economic morale. Get out, reduce the deficits, budgetary deficit, reduce the borrowing, have our medical, have our hospital facilities rehabilitated, have our schools rehabilitated, and reduce the Japa syndrome. Make our country to look like Europe. Make everybody who is staying here to be proud that they're Nigerian. It's more important than atomizing us into more little kingdoms and call them states and all that. If you have a problem, arithmetic division of that problem does not solve it. What solves it? You solve it from the center. Solve it from where the problem is from. If it needs surgery, you remove the surgery. You do it by surgery. Those who are championing these things are not the people.
Yeah, still talking about
those who are championing it are those people who directly benefit from them. Those who are going to the governors, those who put the governors, those who are going to put the speakers. These are the type of people who are championing state nations.
Now, based on the fact that the last state creation was actually done in the military era, don't you think it's high time the civilian government would have a stake in creation of new states, bearing in mind the victory that local government secured not too long ago, where they will now have their own account directly to run the affairs of the local government? Isn't that a plus or a need for the state, for more state creation, so that there will be direct responsibility of the local government handling its own affairs?
If you ask me, there's so much imbalance in the country. There's such a matter that Kano State, for example, has 41 local governments. And that 41 local government is a revenue earning head. In that it means that Kano earns a whole lot more as a state than Anambra that has 21 local governments. In that kind of situation, some people will believe that if they get more states, that they will get a higher chunk of revenue from the federation. But what their beliefs is that if these states that are already working begin to derive more state resources, begin to make their own resources, begin to can easily, as a state, create the number of local governments we want in Anambra State. For example, if we want 50 local governments, we so create and manage them and make them efficient centers of excellence. But we don't have that capacity to create local government because it's that of the powers of the state House of Assembly. Those are the kind of things that these people should be looking at. But looking how to make the center less powerful. Because lose powers, make powers, give powers to the states that we already have. And make the number of states not a revenue earning capacity. So that if you choose to have 100 local governments, that is your business. The local government should be made equal. You can choose 20. Every state in the federation will be 20 as a revenue earning unit. So that if you exceed 21, you fund it. And if you now remove the power of the federal government to create local governments and give it to states, then states can create the number of local governments they can manage, or the local government that will function efficiently and effectively. That is the problem. It is not the problem of our state that is our problem. Our problem is that we have a broken policy, a system that is not working, and we know why it is not working.
All right, Chris, there's this banner headline from the Guardian newspapers that says lawmakers are pushing for 31 new states amid 11.4 trillion naira debt by existing ones, meaning that the ones we have, that's the states we already have, are owing, while the lawmakers are pushing for 31 new states. What do you think are the implications of this?
Yes, we want to drive the other. When we now have 31 states, all of a sudden, the effect is going to be overwhelming. Overwhelming in that you need to borrow money to fund the immediate establishment of these structures. Because when you have a state, you have to have new state capitals, you have to buy new vehicles, new infrastructure, new hospitals, new edifices to benefit and defeat the status of a new state. There's going to be movement of personnel, new vehicles are going to be bought, and all that and all that. Where is this money going to come from? It's going to come from external borrowing. And this is a country that is already made with borrowing of untold levels. And the additional state will be funded from external borrowing. And what does it mean? It creates greater national calamity. It creates unemployment. It creates inflation. It creates foreign exchange drain. Our naira will become a little more useless than it is. So we have to be worried, and our House of Representatives or the whole entire legislation should be told that they should focus on what is relevant. And what is relevant now is to cut the excesses of bureaucracy, cut the cost of doing things in Nigeria, cut the excesses of luxury that our governors and our presidents and our House of Reps and senators enjoy. These are things that are of immediate effect. Our universities are mere consulting places and where children just go and buy certificates and all that. We need to change this scenario. We need to change the situation where our children come out of university, they say 10 years after school. What kind of employment would a child who has gone through a university system and becomes a POS holder, he goes, opens something under the umbrella tree and begins to do recharge card and all stuff like that. That is not gainful employment. And that is why our people are moving out of the country, selling their homestead and their ancestral homeland and going to do menial jobs in the UK and America. What are they doing in America? They are doing caregiver jobs. That's the only job that is available in the UK and America. The kind of job they will not do in Nigeria here. And our boys are doing it. Our girls are doing it. Our girls are sweeping streets in America and UK. It's unfortunate. A country that's so blessed with resources, women and material. And they're talking about migration.
Now,
that's not our problem. That is not our problem.
Yeah, Well, since it's coming from the federal house, that's where our laws are being made. Don't you think that they probably had forgotten that there are procedures, criteria to be met before the creating of such states? Can you put us through what needs to be done by the authorities in order for a state to even be created in the first place?
Oh, well, since the creation of states is not even an easy article. It is only actually the military that can create a state that year. Creation of state is what they call the triple enactment. It has to go through the Senate, the House of Representatives, combined with Senate approval. It has to go through state houses of assembly, and it has to go through the legislatures of the local governments in the country. So this triple enactment makes it almost as difficult as the needle passing through the eye, the camera passing through the eye of the needle. So you can see it is not as easy as that. That's why I think it's diversionary. You can remember when this fellow from Imo State, Cochimero or something, said he was going to create the Imo between Anambra and Imo. One state took up some states, some towns from Anambra and some states, towns from Imo State, and said he was creating a local government state. I just laughed, and I was at the APS to say that it's not possible. And it came to pass because the military made state creation after them showed a difficult and manifestly impossible action that it will be nearly impossible except the magic happens, that you wake up and create a state. Because you have to pass through these three steps that I have mentioned. Concurrence of these states, for a state to be created, Anambra House of Assembly have to say yes. They have to vote and say yes. Sokoto have to vote and say yes. You see that kind of thing. So that triple enactment in the law makes it nearly impossible. I don't know whether you got the point I made last.
I know. I got the point you made, but then, you know, like what we have presently in the National Assembly and in the Senate, it is well known to Nigerians that what we have as representatives are actually people that are seeking their personal and individual gain. So if the executive could just decide and say, this is what we want, can't you guys make it go through the process without any itch so that we can get what we want? After all, this is meant to benefit every political elite in the country.
Yes, instead of the state creation, instead of the act of trying to create states, it is easy for you to amend the laws, amend certain parts of the laws, and spread the powers that are concurrently or exclusively in the hands of the executive, and spread it, give it to the state in such a way that a state can decide to create 100 local governments in its territory. In that kind of situation, the powers that we seek and the benefits we seek gets back to the people, because people have local government that are actually local in the sense of the word local, where their effects are directly met by constituents. They give pipe-borne water, give primary health and all that. Our people will be happier if their local governments are like the churches that are spread in Nigeria, where the churches are now almost at every street corner of our living. That's the way our local government should be. In such a way that you wake up, you can go to your local government chairman, who might be your distant cousin, and complain that you didn't eat last night. And you have to do something about it. And it's important that something like that happens. That is where our local governments are near to us and effectively near to us by action and in deed. That's the kind of prayer that we wish to have while we're alive.
All right. Hello? Hello, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay, now the House of Representatives Committee on Constitution Review They are the ones that came up with this, and the chairman, Benjamin Carlo, proposed to make them create 6 new states for North Central, 4 for Northeast, 5 for Northwest, 5 for Southeast, 4 for South-South, and 7 for Southwest. Now, over the years, I know Nigerians or even Southeasterners have been clamoring for equity in the creation of states. Do you see this? Do you see equity coming to play with what they have now said?
I do not get your point, but what I heard is that whether these states will still be created, given that
you know, some parts of the countries have been saying that there are some parts of the country that have more states. You know, they've clamored for equity in creation of states. Now they are saying that North Central will still get 6 new states, while 4 for Northeast, 5 for Northwest, 5 for Southeast, and 4 for South-South. So I'm seeing it. Are we going to get equal distribution now, this time around?
Yes.
Especially
yes,
for states that have been crying that they are...
I do, yes, I understand your problem.
All right.
Your point now. Let me just deal with it. It's a simple thing. Mm-hmm. I do not believe from the very first point I made that state creation by whatever guise, whether you're balancing up or not balancing up. Mm-hmm. Lagos State, for example, is greater than 9 states in the north in strength, in economics, in all econometric dimensions. Anambra is twice as strong as many states in the south, and even in the north, central and northeast. So it is not in the number of states that you possess that will make you great. What will make you great is the governance, how you manipulate the resources available to generate greater wealth and create enabling environment for infrastructural growth and foreign-based investments. So I do not find any wisdom in balancing or in creating additional states. Whether we have 5 or not, what they should do is to make all 3 states in the country as presently constituted equal in revenue sharing, in everything, in such a way that Anambra receives its own token from federation equal to what Lagos receives, equal to what Kano receives, and all that. We'll move on and we'll generate our own internal wealth in accordance with our own capability, in accordance to the talent of our people, in accordance with what we have as a state and blessed as God has given us. That is the wisdom, my prayer, that this country is not based on a firm foundation, and a lot of mistakes were made by the military in order to believe that as much space is given to the north, that will make them great and greater than where the resources of this country is located. The resources of this country is based on manpower, not just based on resources, petroleum and all that. People per se do not have petroleum, but you cannot joke with the Southeast in any level of econometrics or your judgment. What makes them great is their entrepreneurial spirit. Just like Japan does not have oil, 8 countries of the world, Malaysia, they do not have this oil that seems to create all the divisions and all that. What is important is actually the people. Make the people educated so that they be more resourceful, more ITS, more IT-centered and all that. That's the way to go. Not the number of states that would stop corruption, that would stop looting, that would stop the building of mansions. That will not correct it. Rather, it will create more room for carrying away state resources and making them personal things.
And with the present situation where most states, in fact, the entire nation is grappling and battling with insecurity, don't you think that this proposal will probably bring to, the barest minimum activities, you understand, of it will boost the activities of state policing, thereby reducing this insecurity that we are facing presently in the country?
You're talking about state police?
Yeah, as in line with when new states are created, we'll have more manpower to man most states as in border towns and the rest of it all, because each area will have their own vigilante and probably their own security architecture in order to combat whatever crime or whatever insecurity challenges that they are having.
Yes, what you're proposing sounds good on the paper. What we have now is not, the problem we have now is not about because we don't have enough states. What we have now is about poor utilization of resources. People have clamored for state police. I do not see anything wrong with state police. State police is part of the act of regionalism, where we are saying give every region its own power. America has the federal police who are interested in the federal crime. Then your state police will deal with the state crime, crimes that are covered under the Criminal Act, the ones that the state make. And then you have the federal police that will only be interested in the federal offenses, except where there is an emergency. The president of the country can mobilize the federal police to assist the state police. And you find out now that most states are functioning with state police structure. You can see the change that the governor is doing in security is actually done by self-help. The effort he is making as a governor, and he's using state manpower. He's not using the police per se and the military per se. He's using indigenous talent, and it's working. And it's absolutely working, making a change. The change is visible.
All right, now, Chris. Hello?
Yes.
All right, I don't know. Nigeria, in fact, from Monday that I came to work, each paper you open every morning, so many stories making the headlines at the same time, all get towards making our nation a better one. We believe that. But now, this creation of additional 31 states to add up to what we already have, according to report that it's going to be more than what America has, currently. Do you think this is being done for the interest of the Nigerian populace?
Do I think that the additional state is part of, I didn't get the question well.
Do you think the creation of the state is for the good interest, for the interest of the Nigerian populace?
Oh, no. My initial statement is that there is a comic interlude. It's just something to divert the people, awaken them to another alternative, a parallel alternative, move them away from the burgeoning hunger in the land and then push them to think that something credible is coming their way. I think it's a diversionary factor. It's absolutely something somebody shouldn't consider. And I might not want to tell you that it's not part of our problem and it cannot solve our problem.
And now, do you see selfishness in all of this? Because before now, and I know that it's been...
I see absolute selfishness.
Hello?
Yes, I do. I understand your question.
All right, just listen. There's something... Hello?
Have you seen... Yes?
Yes. You know before now...
telling you that he wants an additional state.
Before now, we were talking about... hello?
Yeah?
Yes, before now, we were hearing about additional 6 states, 5 or 6 states. Then I think in 2022 it got to 20. And today all of a sudden we are seeing 31 states to be added. Now, are you seeing selfishness in all this? Maybe a situation whereby the lawmakers now come out because the Southeast are clamoring. Let us now all clamor for a state, for our own region.
Yes, the clamor is not by the people. The clamor is for the people, not by the people, for the people. You can say now the people who rule Nigeria, somebody might bring a proposal to create a state from his own region, and another power block will say, since these people are asking for a state, why don't you give us our own state? The president is interested in creating states from his southwest region, and all that, and that has been the nearly important angle of creating maybe 5 additional states to balance up into a homogeneous attempt at creating more problems for us. So I am to dismiss the question by saying that the state creations are not buoyed up by genuine feeling for the people, but they are buoyed up by people who deserve and desire that at the end point of this state creation will end in their favor. Because these are people who are going to nominate who will be governor. These are people who are going to be governors. These are people who are going to nominate people who are going to be speakers. These are people who are going to be contractors. These are people who are not our people. They are not the masses. They are the people who are the upper echelon of the ruling classes. So if you ask me again, I will tell you that there's no genuine agitation for state creation. Our urge now is to live in peace as a nation, live in accordance with the tenets of 21st century reality, in such a way that our standard of living does not fall to the normally international acceptable levels. That people can go to hospital, have the surgeries that you have to go outside the country to do. That people can go to the universities of their choice, take minimal school fees, graduate and continue to go to the economy. That our fathers will not die hungry, where our children will not have to go and steal and make amends with native powers, OPC and OPC. These are what is happening. This is what is driving the syndrome. Get rich quick. Because there's no job, there's no intellect anymore. There's no working for 35 years again. Those of us who stayed for 35 years on the state are no longer celebrated. Our degrees are nonsense. Change of degrees that we have mean nothing. To a boy who has just gone and acquired a skill, of natural skill, a PhD and airway and all that. They have just learned his vocabulary. And they are working for them because if they are not working, which is trying to be empty. And somebody says it doesn't work. I can't. It works. That come in 39. People don't buy false goods. They're not dying. Well, it's magic, but magic doesn't last forever.
This program about the creation of 31 extra states as proposed by the lawmakers in Nigeria there. I would definitely appreciate your time for calling. But then, Anoye, what's your idea about this whole state creation of a thing? Are you not seeing yourself being a governor of one of these new states anytime soon?
Chris, still hang on there. So we're not done with you. Actually, maybe that's what they are. No, it's not. This is not for you to answer. Just hang in there. We want to take a very short break at this point in time. The program returns in a jiffy. Please don't go anywhere.
Yeah, thank you.
Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS. With delight, we bring you the light that we bear through our illustrious leaders. Our icons. Our industrious people. Our rich culture. Our places of pride. And our mouth-watering cuisine. With unbridled professionalism and renewed tenacity, we serve you real-time news, information, entertainment of varied genres with unfettered reach of your clients and customers. AB.
Have you back, and thank you so much for staying around. Well, we had Barrister Chris Arukwe with us via the phone, all the way from Ajali in Anambra State, and he was here giving us, some discussions on the needlessness of the 31 states proposed creation by our lawmakers, and he gave us in-depth reasons why we don't need to, since we are still battling to settle the 36 states that we already have that have ballooned their debt down to 11.3 trillion naira. Then why would there be need to create additional states when we can't even manage the 36 existing ones?
All right, Barrister Chris, we'd like to appreciate you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you very much. I'm honored all the time.
All right, thank you. And that's how we're wrapping up the show for now. Thank you so much for watching. But don't go yet. We have more coming up on Good Morning Anambra.
Up next is Catch the Boss. Do you know what we have for you? Don't worry. Stick around, and then you will definitely find out. Don't go anywhere.